So you're going to record a presentation on your computer. Well, there are a couple things you want to keep in mind. First, think about recording in segments. There is no reason you need to record your entire presentation in one go. Record several slides at a time, record an introduction, record a conclusion, and then you can put all of these things together, but you don't need to record everything at the same time. So for instance, you can record segments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then join them all back together to make your final presentation. This really takes the pressure off. It really makes it easier to do your recording. Secondly, now this is more of a conceptual thing, but when we make our presentations, often what we are doing is making a presentation to present, right? And a lot of times that presentation goes supersized. We put it on a big screen in front of a large audience and everyone can see it. So what's on our monitor will get bigger. Now, the problem with this, when you're making a video to be seen online, what's on your monitor is actually going to get smaller. And so there's some things to keep in mind because we're going to be making our presentation smaller. First of all, font size. When you're going to be making a presentation, a video presentation, you want to use a font size of at least 32 or higher. And you don't need to put that many words on a slide, because when you make things smaller, it will become harder and harder to read, and anything below 32 will absolutely be unreadable. In fact, the font size you're actually looking at now is 90. So this is something to keep in mind. Reduce the number of words on your page and keep your font size above 32 if you want it to be readable. Similarly, image size. Unless an image is 2/3 of the screen or larger, people really won't be able to see it. So make sure your images are nice and big. Fill an entire slide with a single image. That is totally fine. Also use simple or what's called a flat graphic that doesn't have a complicated pattern to it. If you want somebody to see something small and tiny on a particular graphic, it's going to be very difficult. So for instance, if you're looking at a tiny little lesion over there on the brain, well, that's going to be extremely hard to see when someone shrinks that down to the smaller size that videos tend to play at on a computer screen. So keep that in mind. Complicated images with heavy patterns, that's not the way to go. Contrast is key. If you want the words on the screen to be readable, there needs to be a good amount of contrast between the word and the background. So let me repeat. Contrast is key. Contrast is key. Contrast is key. Contrast is key. Okay, I think we've made our point. So in summary, record in segments, stick to large fonts and large images, avoid complicated images with patterns, and have a high amount of contrast between the text on your screen and the background. If you follow these rules, this will be a simple process and you'll really like the results. Thanks for listening.